Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. This show is designed to inspire, educate, and empower you through life's transitions. Today, we have an amazing show planned for you. I have a wonderful guest, Jonathon Aslay. I'll share about him in a minute. And our theme today is midlife dating tips for men and women. I hope you're doing great today. I hope you woke up today feeling inspired about your life. And I'm excited to be here. Hey, Kelly, how you doing back there?
Great.
Kelly's doing great. All right. Here we are in the studio. We're in Vista, California. It is 11:03 a.m. Pacific time. I want to say to you, welcome to the show. If you are new here for the first time, thanks so much for being here. And if you've been here before, I want to say welcome back. Where you can catch us live is on E360 TV network. On my YouTube channel, I Have Today with Diane Forster, and on my Facebook page, I Have Today with Diane Forster. Where I am able to see your comments is on Facebook. So if you want to ask questions, put in comments, and you're watching it elsewhere, hop on over to I Have Today with Diane Forster on Facebook, where you can catch us there. All right. So here's what's going on in the show today. I'm going to talk for a few minutes about the topic. Then I'm going to introduce Jonathon. We're going to have a great conversation. We're going to cover a lot of topics, not just dating tip topics for those men and women who are in midlife going through that, but we're going to tap onto other things too, like self-love, which is huge. You know, I'm all about self-love. Well, so is Jonathon. So he's got an amazing book. Hang on, let me tell you just a little bit about him before I do his full bio. Okay. He is the founder of Conscious Coupling. He's also the author of What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? And the host of his YouTube channel called Understand Men Now. So we're going to have a great conversation today, getting the male perspective and the female perspective about midlife dating, because he's midlife, I'm midlife, and I don't know what's going on in his love life, but I am in the dating arena. So we're going to talk about that. And then we go into the Mentor Me Minute segment, and we do this every single week where you send in your questions to me either via live in the comments section on Facebook, where I will mentor you live, or you send them into us at dianeforster.com/mentor me. So if there's something going on in your life, does not matter what it is, in personally, professionally, especially right now with everything that's going on in the world. I know I've been helping a lot of people through scarcity mindset thinking about their career and their future. Health, challenges, worry about that. I never get political and we just don't go there, but, all the divisiveness that's going on and all the changes that have happened to you in your life, because no one is immune on this planet. No one is immune about what's happening. That's what's so extraordinary about it. But anything going on with you, I will mentor you for one whole minute and give you the best of my best. And if you ever watched the show before, I usually go over a minute. So anyway, that's your chance to ask me anything. So that's the Mentor Me Minute segment. And then we always end each episode with a powerful mantra meditation. So I take whatever we've talked about today and then take you on that guided meditation so that you leave the show feeling better at the end of it than you did at the beginning of it. And so that's what we have for you today. All right. So again, the title of this show is Midlife Dating Tips for Men and Women. And our intention statement is, I have today to be open to finding true love. I have today to be open to finding true love. There's a lot of limiting beliefs that we have out there and feelings of low self-worth and, pain from your past. You think it's going to define your future. And so I want you to know that you are worthy and deserving of anything and everything that you want. And it definitely applies to true love. In fact, that's one of the greatest gifts that we get to experience on this earthly journey, is the experience of having true love, being in love, receiving love, giving love, all of that. So we do an intention statement every week, and where you can find it is on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. If you go there, go to the little buttons. There's a button that's called wallpapers. And Kelly creates the most beautiful wallpapers, screenshot it so that you can see it the 150 times you look at your phone every single day. But that allows that affirmation and that intention statement to really sink in and anchor with you and know how worthy and deserving you are of love. So you can find that on my Instagram page, Diane Forster Official, under wallpapers. Okay. All right. So let me introduce Jonathon, because I want to get him on right away, because he's got quite a story and a lot of insight and expertise. He's doing incredible work in this world. And I am a fan of his as well. I subscribe to his YouTube channel, and I said, oh, I got to get him on the show because he's talking about midlife dating. And we've done themes like this before. You know, we had Silke Schwarzkopf on the show, and she is the founder of Second Act TV. And so she's got her YouTube channel where she talks about health and relationship issues and challenges related to people 50 and above. And then last week, I don't know if you caught our episode, but we had on Dr. Deborah Muth, and we talked about how to deal with sexual dysfunction and aging conditions. And that was a phenomenal episode. So if you want to catch either one of those, go to E360 TV because they are there for you. All right. So we're kind of doing a theme around midlife right now. And both of them actually are related to self-love. A couple of weeks ago, we did back-to-back episodes on confidence. So these are issues that are important to you. So we want to bring you what matters most to you right here at I Have Today. All right. So let's bring on our guest, Jonathon Aslay.
Hey there.
Hey, Jonathon.
How's it going, Diane?
It's going so great. It's so nice to see you.
Likewise. I'm honored to be your guest. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm honored to have you on the show. So let me share a little bit about you with the audience. Okay. Sure. All right. The focus of one of America's leading midlife dating coach has expanded into a deeper, essential philosophy of what it truly means in love. So after losing his 19-year-old son, Connor, in 2018, Jonathon Aslay's grief led him on a soul-searching inner journey where he became aware of an often overlooked dimension of the dating conversation. He realized that the process of dating reveals the most common emotional health issue faced by many singles seeking a partner, a distressing lack of self-worth, self-regard, and self-love. Jonathon saw a tremendous opportunity to help clients experience true happiness, purpose, and peace inside themselves first. Only then, from that authentic, heart-centered place, can they create loving, thriving relationships with others. Today, he's on a mission of encouraging both men and women to fully love themselves with his book, What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? Packed with fun, engaging spiritual and personal growth practices, and his dynamic midlife love mastery mentorship program that inspires hundreds of people daily around the world. Wow, Jonathon, love what you're up to in the world.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So what we want to know, what I want to know is a little bit of your story, or, you know, the background. How did you become this expert and start doing what you're doing? Because as we know, it was a journey, of course.
Well, I'm going to try to keep that as short as possible so we can get to the meat of the conversation. After turning 40 and going through a divorce in 2005, I found myself, out in the dating world. And there was this thing called internet dating. This is well before smartphones. And I thought you could just simply plug in exactly what you want and someone would magically appear. And I'll never forget my first date. I met a really nice woman. We had a good time, but something wasn't right. And then a few days later, I'd meet another woman. We'd have a good time. Something wasn't right. And this happened over and over and over. And in 1 year, I had over 100 internet dates.
Oh, my goodness.
And I realized that something wasn't right with me. However, I was addicted to the conversations I was having women. I stopped dating. I just started to talk to women all over the world, or all over the country, I should say. I wanted to hear their stories about relationships, and I wanted to hear their experiences. And I was actually just developing lots of female friends using the internet because I was home alone, and I would be on the phone from 6 o'clock at night, sometimes till 2 a.m.
Wow.
And what was interesting was after a while, some of the women would reach out, Jonathon, will you check out my profile and help me make it better? And I'd share my perspective on their dating profile and I'd give some tips. And then a few weeks later, I get a phone call. Oh my God, I met a great guy. Will you check out his profile and tell me what you think of him? And I realized that as I started to read men's profile, I kind of had a knack for profiling people. I don't know if you're familiar, like the FBI have profilers for serial killers.
Yeah.
I can profile serial daters, serial monogamous, nice guys, bad boy, and the guy looking for you. And so I launched Understand Men Now, which included basically helping women improve their dating profiles and giving them insight into men. And then I went on a deep journey of personal development, self-help, and spiritual work to understand human behavior, especially in the dating arena. And since then, I've accumulated over 20,000 hours of coaching. I have over 3,000 hours of personal development, self-help, and spiritual workshops, trainings, books, and readings and such. And I'm currently have a neuro-linguistic programming certificate, and I'm currently getting my cognitive behavioral certificate as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Wow. Well, there's so much in there. Okay, so let's talk about this. All right, you've done all this research, you've done all this development personally and professionally for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think the problem is? I mean, I know we're going to get to self-worth, but what is the problem?
Well, okay, so let's get back to the idea of midlife, because that's kind of the topic. And the only reason why I want to differentiate that is midlife is what I call after baby making years and before retirement. So it's people that my audience is predominantly people 42 to 69, because when you're in your 20s and 30s, your primary driving force to mate with another human being is typically to start a family. So there is a different mindset and different approach to dating in your 20s and 30s versus 40s, 50s, and 60s, because roughly about 75% of people who are over 45 years old who are single looking for love are divorced.
Yes.
So so we want to first start off and recognize, and by the way, the other 25% are the never married and widowers. So since the biggest chunk of people are divorced, you've been enmeshed in a relationship like this, and now you unravel the tapestry, and many people immediately try to re-enmesh with someone else, like I did. I was searching for someone else, and I didn't first integrate back into my own sovereignty. So my methodology was basically, I need you to love me for me to feel good about myself. I'd say right off the bat, the number one issue is this: I need someone to love me so I can feel good about myself. And that's always going to set one up for failure. Agreed.
I could not agree more with that. And that's why, you know, the divorce rates are at 50% for first marriages, and then they go up to in the 60s for second, and then they go up into the 70s for third marriages, because you don't do the inner work. And you said it so perfectly. You're seeking your fulfillment from somebody else, and that's not where it comes from. It comes from within.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So, there's this, but I want to clarify something for everybody, because there's this belief that you have to fully love yourself before you can love another. I want to say that you don't have to fully love yourself. It's just begin the journey of loving yourself. Once you begin the journey of, and what I mean by loving yourself, and I'm a believer of personal development, self-help, spiritual work, to begin to integrate into your sovereignty, into your, like what my book says, self-love, because then you're better prepared. It's kind of like, you know, when you get on the airplane and they tell you, in case of cabin pressure change, you know, oxygen mask will drop. And if you're traveling with someone else, put the mask on first. Well, the mask is the metaphor for self-love. And when you put it on first, you can then serve others. And so that's what I want to inspire people to do, especially in the dating realm.
I love that. this is we're so aligned about so many things. And I have my own nurture my spirit, mind, and body, that time that I really devote to me and fill my tank, put my mask on before I give to the rest of the world. What do you do? And what do you recommend?
You mean, what do I do personally?
Yeah. How do you practice self-love for yourself?
Oh, well, we need 2 episodes for that. I mean, I start morning with, I live at the ocean. And so I start with my balcony and a brief meditation to start my day, just a quiet, peaceful time to connect with myself. Healthy living. One of the chapters in my book is your body is a machine, not a temple. And why I say that is, what I put in my body is very important to me. So I try not to put processed foods and things like that, because that's like putting garbage in your car kind of thing. So I treat my body like a machine. I include exercise, time with friends, really healthy time with friends, real deep, nurturing experiences with friends, just to name a few. And I think probably the most important thing, and this is the hardest for most people, is forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And why I interject this, because forgiveness simply means forgiving love. Forgiving love. So every morning and every night, I always do the Hawaiian forgiveness prayer, which goes, if you're familiar with the Ho'oponopono, which goes, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. It's like giving yourself it's like giving an injection of love to yourself every day.
It is.
And I use it during those moments where I'm having anxiety, frustration, fear going on. I inject myself with love.
I love that. And it is so powerful, and it pulls you back to the present. What's really important anyway. That's wonderful.
Well, that's what your show is all about. It's like, how can I be present right now? Because, most people either operate from the past or they're focused on the future.
Right.
And you're missing out on the best part of life when you're in one of those 2 spaces.
Right. I couldn't agree more. Okay. So let's talk about this, midlife dating tips for men and women. So I am divorced as well. Yeah. I've been divorced for several years and dated a lot, tried different things. And it wasn't, and I'm currently not seeing anybody right now. By the way, I'm a total open book on my show. Like I just say it like it is, because I think people appreciate that and want to know the real person.
Sure.
And that's just hasn't, for me, been a priority right now, because I'm busy doing other things. I'm building the network. I'm building, a lot of things in my business life, which I find fulfilling. And so I wanted to share that, because I know that there are a lot of women out there that are kind of feeling that way too. So I want to address that group first.
Sure.
Because I know that is a deterrent for men, because women are, really living in more of a masculine energy space. This is my feeling, that I think that might be intimidating for men. What do you think about that?
Well, I have a couple things I'd like to share. So is it okay if I just do a 10-second coaching with you?
Yes.
So I want you to be careful using the term priority, because priorities, I believe, are singular to the moment and not to your life. And what I mean to say is, a variety of things are important to you. Your children are important to you. Your show is important to you. Your work is important to you. And any given moment, that may be on the top of the list. I would like you to add attracting my soulmate as being important. Mm-hmm. And I only differentiate this because we oftentimes can, through our framing of our languaging, set something down, below, to almost dismiss what your heart desires is a life partner, for example. Mm-hmm. So I encourage my clients to see the opportunity to attract love as an important aspect of their life. And so, for example, I have on my front door, it says, I'm open and receptive to love, both romantic love and inner love. So to me, that's a priority to say important. Let me reframe that. Important to say, I'm open and receptive to love. let me just say something about masculine and feminine energy. And this is going to probably be a little bit of abrasive. This is what I think of masculine and feminine energy. And let me say why. This is the construct that's ruining a lot of women, not men, women. Because here's the deal. Yes, you're a strong, smart, confident woman. You're ambitious. You're, all of these energies. That's great. Okay. The minute we classify that as masculine, we've already labeled it we've already created a construct that I don't think is healthy, because that's just part of who you are.
Right. And
so this is a beautiful part of you, who you are. The minute we termed it masculine, we took it away from you. Because you are both, for lack of a better word, you are a doer and you're a receiver. Okay. Because if we look at masculine and feminine, it's just doing and receiving. So you're both simultaneously. And a lot of people are caught up. So a lot of women are told to, get out of their masculine and go into their feminine on a date. And this is where my coaching is different. I think you set yourself up for failure, because then the expectation, the man is the doer, and you just sit back and receive and let him claim you and all that kind of stuff. And then you're not an active participant in the process. So I'm encouraging that people treat the dating process right from the get-go as a 2-lane street. In fact, I highly recommend people read the book If the Buddha Dated. Okay. It actually is a more spiritual way to approach the dating process that takes, by the way, can I curse on this show, or is that inappropriate?
You can curse.
Okay. So if the Buddha dated, it takes the penis and vagina out of the equation. In other words, it takes the gender divide out of the equation, and it starts with the heart-centered way of approaching dating and relationships.
Yes. I love that.
I hope you didn't mind that explanation.
No, I don't mind it at all. And penis and vagina aren't curse words, by the way. They're body parts. I was going to get to a curse word later. No, I like that you kept it clean, though. Yeah, because we do encourage wholesome programming here. Okay, I love everything that you said, and I agree that it should be that way. I'm just telling you from my female perspective, what I've noticed is it's really admired and respected by some men, and it's really intimidating to other men, and that's just misalignment. We're just suited for each other.
So some men are. Here's the thing, and this is where a lot of strong, smart, confident women I believe they set themselves up for failure. I'm going to intimidate men. Right off the bat, just even that consciousness sets one up for failure. Right. Yes, some men aren't attracted to smart, confident women. Okay, great. Some men aren't. It's not an intimidation, it's an attraction issue. Because no man's penis shriveled up because of who you were. Okay? They didn't. Yeah. Okay. You did not. True intimidation is where fear comes in. That's true intimidation.
I see what you're saying.
And you said it perfectly there, Diane. It's just a misalignment.
Right.
But so many smart, strong, successful women set that paradigm in their head. I'm going to intimidate people. And guess what's going to happen? The universe is going to get you a lot of men that's going to fit that narrative. So let's take that narrative out.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. So, all right, I'm big on language here. We do a lot of word removal and replacement. And people are not aware about the way that they are speaking about themselves and others in their day-to-day life. So even though they can be, have a spiritual awakening, be into self-help, personal development, and into the law of attraction, let's just say, they're not consciously aware of how they're showing up in the rest of their lives. And so as attractors, we are always attracting. It's never off. So what tips could you give to both men and women? But I know large portion of your audience is women, right? Because you're trying to educate women on this. What tips can you just gave some, but what else can you give to let women know that they are the ones who are responsible for what is showing up in their lives in terms of dating.
Okay. So right off the bat, I want to say to women in particular that you are in charge of your relationship destiny. And what I mean to say is the traditional narrative is men are the leaders of a relationship, okay?
Right.
And that's predominantly because women throughout history have been treated as property and men were the holders of most of the wealth. So naturally, it was a one up, one down type of dynamic. So throughout history, it's been that way. Certainly since the 50s and 60s, women have been have been given the opportunity to be fully empowered, and now they are in charge of their own destiny. And that includes relationship as well. But here's the challenge. A lot of women prefer that the man lead the process, and that's great. Men will lead. Men want to get laid. Of course, we're going to lead the process. We are driven biology to mate with you as quick as we can. So a lot of men show up chivalrous in that way, and then women wonder, why did he disappear? This is because I'm here, at least in my coaching practice, I'm here to encourage women that they are the leaders of the emotional aspect of the relationship, the emotional aspects of the relationship.
Yes.
So now let me explain why I say this. The mechanics of a healthy, happy relationship, both men and women have no effing clue how a relationship works, mechanically speaking. Now, people are going, what do you mean mechanics, Jonathan? Well, there's a great therapist named Dr. John Gottman, who basically is a couples therapist who looks at relationships and what causes them to fail. So he's written a great book. I want to show your audience. It's called 8 Dates. 8 Dates. These are 8 separate conversations you want to have with someone to see if you're aligned in the mechanics of a relationship. The mechanics of a relationship. Now, this isn't very sexy. This isn't candlelit dinners. You can have that, but most people are acting at such a superficial level of dating. If you can't understand what makes a relationship work, then it's pointless because you're just going to repeat the cycle of choosing the wrong people over and over again. Especially if you have childhood wounds and traumas that haven't been healed, you will always attract your mother and father over and over until you decide to heal.
Right. To do that important work. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would definitely recommend reading the book, Getting the Love You Want by Harvell Hendrix to understand that dynamic. So where was I going with this? Okay. So 8 Dates. And so women buy these books tenfold greater than men. Men don't buy these books. Some men do, women do. So if women are understanding relationships better, then they should be the leaders of the emotional aspects of the relationship.
I love that and agree with that 100%, because I think innately that men do want to please you and they want to be there. They just don't know how.
Yeah.
And women do need to be the ones who are in control of the emotional part of it, because we're,
Well, let's say the word lead is versus control, and let's take the word inspire instead of lead. That's why, as you said, words are important. They are the inspiration for that.
Yeah. Yes. That's fantastic. I agree with that 100%.
In my coaching practice, I've created a proprietary program that is based on the law of attraction to shift perspective to attract a great mate. Like in my YouTube channel, I know you shared it with your community, I talk about the best reading sources to understand what it takes to be in a healthy, happy relationship. And I know everybody knows this one word, communication. The problem is most humans don't communicate from a very healthy way. This is why I always recommend the book Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. Now, I want to tell your audience this. The title sucks. It should have been called Compassionate Communication. The reason why it's called nonviolent is here in the United States, we are sucking on the nipple of victim consciousness. Right. So in the dating realm, most people are showing up like victims and they communicate like victims to one another because of so many past hurts, so much trauma and wounds in their life. So I'm here to encourage, if you want better communication, learn how to communicate better with a partner.
Learn how to communicate better with a partner. Great advice. You know, we're going to put links to all these books in the comments section, in the description area of the show notes. That's fantastic, Jonathon. All right. So why does modern dating need a makeover?
Well, it goes back to what I was sharing earlier about this, the traditional dating. I know a lot of women will say on their dating profiles, I'm a traditionalist in dating. The expectation is the man do all the work, and guys will. They'll chase sex and do all the work. And I'm not trying to diminish men and their character or their integrity, but that's biologically speaking, we are driven that way. And the minute a man is in a relationship, he nests. He stops doing any work.
Yes.
So the makeover is shifting the perspective of saying it's a two-lane street. This is why the dating app Bumble, for example, women are the initiators of the conversation. So when two people match on this dating app using their little smartphones, women are the ones that make the first communication. Yeah. So you said you'd like to get a tip. I'd like to share with your audience, for the women listening, a tip to communicate to men. Is that okay?
That's great. Lay it on us.
So let's say two people swipe on this dating app and now the woman's dropping the hanky. That's what that is. That first communication is simply dropping a hanky. I've created an acronym that will help you on that first communication. And the acronym, the word is NICE, N-I-C-E, NICE.
Okay.
So the N stands for name. So it would look something like this. Hey, Jonathon, because all dating profiles have the person's name. So start with the person's name. Like Diane, when people say their names to each other, we perk up. Our little kid inside says, oh, I'm recognized.
Yes.
A lot of women will just write the word, hey. I'm like, wow, is that the best you can do?
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So name. So you start with name. The I stands for inquisitive. The inquisitive mean be curious, ask a question, because that creates engagement.
Yes.
So, hey, Jonathon, I see you live blank. What's it like living there? Ask a question. It could be a benign question. It doesn't have to be that fancy, but just ask a question. Oh, and by the way, everything doesn't have to be in this order, but it makes sense for my acronym. The C stands for compliment. Diane, most women get a dozen compliments a day. Like, what was the first thing I said to you when we saw each other in the camera? What was the first thing I said?
You said you look great.
You look great. I said, your hair looks fantastic. I gave you a compliment.
Yes, you did.
Men get about this many compliments in any given day.
Really?
Yes, we get 0 compliments in a day.
Wow.
So by the way, a great way to hook a guy is give him a compliment.
Yeah.
You look, you're easy on the eyes. You have great energy. You have great hair, something, just give a compliment. And then the E stands for enthusiasm. Like end with a happy emoji. Because that shows
like you're actually excited about this, meeting this new person. Yes.
The reason why dating is so frustrating is because there's apathy from both men and women alike. And that apathy is only breeding more apathy with one another. And that's why it's frustrating. My clients that use this technique literally begin meeting great guys and have better engagement just by simply being nice.
Nice. I love that. Yes, there's so many people who view online dating or dating in general, but especially online dating as work. Oh, it's a chore. And, and they have these negative beliefs about it. And so they're putting all that energy into it while they're doing it. They may as well not even be doing it because that's why they're attracting who they're attracting. Yeah, that's great. I love that acronym. Nice.
By the way, I want to comment on that. It's work. It's fascinating. The most important decision you'll ever make in your life is the mate you choose.
Yes.
That's the most, and yet people want to do this much work.
By
the way, for the record, never do that in front of a man. This much work. It's literally the apathy between men and women, the amount of effort they put in is pathetic.
I agree. And
I'm sorry for yelling. I'm just passionate.
no, you're passionate about it, which I love, I agree. It's truly one of, if not the most important experiences that you will have on this earthly journey, in this human experience. And so, yeah, you have to put effort into it. And yeah, and not especially after the relationship is, in progress. It's continuing to work on it. I do mantra meditations for my clients, and the ones that are struggling in their relationships, I'll just tell you, I always put in there, I have today to fall in love with my love all over again. And I spend each day focusing on 10 or 20 things that I love about him or her, or love about my love. And pull that back into a daily practice for them so that they don't take it for granted. They don't let it go to the back burner, and their relationships get better so much faster because they're putting in the effort of it. And even if the effort is just the awareness of it, and what can I do to keep that love alive? And maybe it's just sending a text saying, I can't stop thinking about you. I can't wait to see you. Or you looked really hot in that shirt this morning when you left, or something that keeps that fire alive. And it is work, but like you just said, it's the most important work in the world.
Yeah, it's the thing is, there's two components of work. One is the work you do on yourself, that work of being emotionally mature. That's probably the most important work one has to do when you choose to be in a relationship. And I have what I call the 5 signs of emotional maturity.
Okay, wait, share them in 1 second.
Okay.
Because we have a comment from Elaine.
Okay.
And we'll get to this. Elaine wrote, not the work, but do I want to start from zero again? That's how I sometimes feel. Yeah, well, Elaine, well, I'll let Jonathon answer this.
It's interesting. I start from zero. How about, I'm going to reframe that. How about I start from beginner's mind? Because here's the thing, all of your experiences has prepared you for this moment in time right now. Yeah. Now, for a lot of women, we men go on date. And by the way, let me just be clear about something. I'm not complaining about women because I think there's just as many issues in relationship about men. But a lot of women will go on a first date and you can see every man that broke her heart standing behind her on that first date.
Yes.
So what I'd like to say, yes, you should start from zero, like Groundhog Day. You have all this experience, but start with beginner's mind.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Elaine.
Yeah, thanks, Elaine. Okay, now make the point you were going to make. You were going to share 5 tips.
5 signs of emotional maturity. So number 1, actions consistently matching words. Actions consistently matching words. That's by the way, the 5 signs of emotional maturity is as the world according to Jonathon. So I mean, take it for what it's worth here. Actions consistent. We're always going to have a faux pas or a fumble here or there, but there's a consistency. The actions match the words. Number 2, we take personal responsibility for our choices. As I said earlier, especially here in the United States, there's a lot of victim consciousness about past relationships. Right. So I'm here to say you're either a victor or you're a victim and of consciousness. And a lot of this is demonstrated as follows. When someone asks about your past relationship, all they do is throw the other partner under the bus and take no ownership on their part of the ending of the relationship. Right. That is a sign of emotional maturity. Number 3, learning how to what's called fight fair. Fight fair.
Love it.
And what I mean by is good conflict resolution skills. That's where the book Nonviolent Communication comes in, because every relationship is going to have conflict.
Yeah.
And learning good communication skills, that ability to what I call fight fair, is a sign of emotional maturity. Number 4, empathy. Now, what I mean by empathy isn't I can feel your feelings. I can feel your feelings. I want to go a step further. Real, genuine empathy is I care about your feelings. I care about your feelings. In fact, John Gottman talks about the 3 stages of love is our feelings matter most, your partner's feelings matter, second, and then your partner's feelings become your feelings.
Yes.
That's true love.
Yeah.
And then the fifth sign of emotional maturity is transparency. You know, when we ever say, can I be honest with you? What that really is saying is, I want to be transparent and vulnerable and authentic with you. So
yes.
Transparency is like if you ask someone a question, they don't deflect, they're not trying to hide. Now, I will say this. We all might need time to trust someone to share something very intimate, but transparency is, I'm going to keep you informed of what's going on as it relates to the we in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, the vast majority of humans have very poor they're very emotionally immature. They might know how to pay their bills on time and be successful professionally, but emotional maturity is lacking in both men and women alike.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, Jonathon, this has been amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh gosh, we're already wrapped up.
Yeah, well, you just dropped nugget bomb after nugget bomb after nugget bomb. I loved forgiving love. I love that you have I'm open and receptive to love on your front door. And are you aligned with the mechanics of the relationship? That was just a few of the highlights. Wow, so let me ask you a question that I ask all my guests. Sure. How do you live the I have today way, which is intentionally in the present moment? What's that for you? How
do I live? You know what? I realize I let go of my attachment to worry. Mm-hmm. In other words, that place of living in the future and or living in the past. I'm very consciously aware of when my brain or my mind starts going too much in the past and the future. That's where I do the forgive. Anytime that's happening, to bring myself back to present, I do the Hawaiian forgiveness prayer, because it's like a pattern interrupt to your brain to bring me back to present. Because when I'm present, I tend to have the greatest amount of inner peace. And this is why I want to say that self-love is like a vaccination to emotional chaos. And so it's a daily practice. And along with my practice of self-love, that's the personal work. Well, that's it. I mean, I would say that's the most important thing in my life, is that inner peace to start my day.
That's beautiful. All right. So how can people find you, Jonathon?
Well, I think you've got a link to my YouTube channel. I have a podcast called the What Would Love Do podcast. I have my website, jonathanaslay.com. I'm all over social media and all those good places.
Yes, we have a link for your YouTube channel here. And yes, just search him. He's everywhere. His YouTube channel is called Understand Men Now. I'm subscribed, so I get your videos. Thank you. Yes, of course. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. All right. We will see you soon. Everyone. Okay. Take care. Great conversation. We might have to have him back. I mean, this is opening up a lot of things, because I know in my work, there are a lot of single people out there looking for love. And we will have links to every book Jonathon mentioned, including his, in the description areas. Thank you, Deborah. I see that you want to get copies of all those books. So we will make sure to put all that information in the comment section. All right. Okay. All right. That was such a great interview. Let's get into the Mentor Me Minute segment now. All right. That was great interview. Okay, let's get to the questions. The show is going by so quickly. All right. I feel like I'm ready to start dating again after a painful divorce. How should I start to get myself out there when there's a pandemic? This is from Stephanie in Illinois. All right, Stephanie, I hope you're watching the show live today or catching this, because Oh my goodness. All right. Apparently I was muted. All right. I took my headphones off. So, okay. First question is from Stephanie. I feel like I'm ready to start dating again after a painful divorce. How should I start to get myself out there when there's a pandemic? This is Stephanie from Illinois. Okay, I know, Deborah, we fixed it. I hope you can hear me now. So Jonathon Aslay just gave a ton of information, so I hope that you're watching the show, but I'll speak as woman to woman, divorced woman. Let's not label your painful divorce, and let's not keep that at the forefront. I mean, that is the first thing that you said to me, is what you're doing is you're bringing your painful divorce into your today. And I'm not saying that it wasn't painful and that you're not dealing with a lot of emotions that you're healing from. But the last thing that you want to do is bring that painful divorce into your next relationship. So if you're ready to start dating again, I would tap into that. Because unless and until you do, you're very likely to attract a similar relationship, as we just talked about on the show. So do the inner work, read Jonathon's book, read the books that he mentioned, which again, we're going to have links for, and start there. And it does start from self-love. And know that just because you had a painful relationship in your past does not mean that that's your destiny for your future. Okay. So continue to do the work on you first. Okay. All right. Next question. I'm a single guy and I want to find a nice woman, but it seems like all the women I meet want someone with money. Where are all the women who want a nice man who will treat her well? All right, David in Georgia, that's another good question. And again, it's in your language. So there are plenty of nice women out there. And there are plenty of women who are looking for a nice man who will treat her well. Lead with that intention. And one of the things that I say is be the love that you seek. You are that, and you are setting yourself up. You're putting that languaging that they want someone with money. Well, what does that mean anyway? Does they want a rich guy? Or maybe that's in your language and that's what you're saying. It seems like everybody I meet wants somebody who's wealthy or wants a rich man. If you are saying those words, you are attracting. That's who you're attracting. And that might require you to do a little digging into yourself and maybe even some of your own money issues too. Maybe money's not a priority to you, but you got to ask yourself the reasons why, or is it that you truly believe that? Or is it easier to say that because looking at the real pain of it, maybe not having it, maybe not feeling worthy and deserving of it, maybe having fear around it, which is a real thing, is what's really showing up for you. And I'm not saying that it is or it isn't, but ask yourself those questions first. And you can just set the intention, like Jonathon said, he's open to receiving love. What did exactly he say he's got on his front door? I'm open and receptive to love. How about you just be open and receptive to love? All right. So to both of you, David and Stephanie, send us a private message on Facebook. Send me a private message on Facebook with your shipping address, and we are going to send you guys out an I Have Today mug. All right. Okay. Wow. This show went by so fast. Great interview with Jonathon. Topic was midlife dating tips for men and women. The intention statement was, I have today to be open to finding true love. I have today to be open to finding true love because it is available for you. It's absolutely your birthright. All right. Before I get into the mantra meditation, I wanted to offer a gift for you. And as we were sharing a lot today, language is really important. Setting intentions is really important. What you're putting out in the universe, you are receiving back. And so I created 8 powerful affirmations. And these are one affirmation for the 8 key areas of your life: in health, in love, in family, in career, in money, in spirituality, in community, and in fun. And it's a free download, and every word of these intention statements, these affirmations, is intentional and really powerful. So you can get yours, it's totally free, at 8affirmations.com. All right, so that's 8affirmations.com. We're going to have a ticker right there for you. Get yours right there. All right. Okay. Such a great show. All right, so let's get ready for our mantra meditation. All right, obviously, if you're driving, if you're listening to this or watching this when you're driving, please be careful. Please keep your eye on the road. But for everybody else who's here and present, just tune out the rest of the world for the next couple minutes, okay? Because what we are going to do together is we're going to close our eyes. We're going to take in 2 deep breaths. We're going to breathe in for the count of 4, hold it to the count of 4, and then breathe out for the count of 8. And when you're breathing out, I want you to blow out like you're blowing out birthday candles, like this. And really deflate all of that air out of your abdomen and diaphragm area. Get it all out. All right, we're going to do that twice. It's going to feel really good. Then just keep your eyes closed and just listen to the words, okay? All right, so let's do it. Get centered, kind of loosen your shoulders, uncross your legs if they're crossed, put your hands on your lap. You can face them down if you feel grounded. You can turn them up if you want to receive more energy. And here we go. All right, breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4. And breathe out for 8. Let's do that again. Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 4. And breathe out for 8. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles, big and small. I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have today to be open to finding true love. I am open to it. I am receptive to it. I am worthy of it. I am deserving of it. And it's part of my earthly journey and my human experience to have it and to give it. And that feels amazing. I no longer bring pain from my past into my today, into my now, into my heart, into my soul, and into my relationship when it comes to love, or into any relationship for that matter. That was part of my journey. It is in the past, and I need to let it go, forgive it, and heal from it, and move on from it, because I already went through that pain once. I do not need to keep living it over and over again. Doesn't matter where I am in my life. If I am here right now, listening to this and taking in these words, there's something valuable for me to hear. Every relationship from my past has had value, every single one of them. Every single one of those relationships taught me so many things. It was filled with gifts, yes, including the pain. But who I am today is better than I was ever in any moment in my life before, because today is the day that I decide to love myself fully, wholly, unconditionally, completely, knowing that it is a process and it is progress, and that I am a work of art and a work in progress at the same time. All I need to do is today show up as the best version of me as I possibly can. Be open and receptive to all the love and abundance in all forms in my life, to experience as much happiness as I can, to heal any pain in my heart and live with an open heart, and know that those moments that show up for me, that pull me back or might take me down or create any negative emotions, such as fear, doubt, guilt, or shame, is something that I can just breathe through, because it will pass. It will pass. And so I live it each day, especially today, because it's all I have, moment by moment by moment, in love, in gratitude, in appreciation, in forgiveness, in kindness, in compassion, and open to all the miracles and possibilities. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, you can open your eyes. I send you all so much love and light. Thank you for being here. Please mark your calendar. We are here every Monday at 11:03 Pacific time. I want to thank my guest, Jonathon Aslay, for being here. We will have notes in the comments section. Do not forget to download your 8 affirmations for free. They're extremely powerful. Follow me on social media at Diane Forster Official, and then subscribe to my YouTube channel at I Have Today with Diane Forster. Go to my page, I Have Today with Diane Forster on Facebook, and follow me there. And tune into E360 TV live every single week. I love you madly with all my heart. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.